this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, October 30th, 2023. Here for my weekly cross-stitching update. Got all my goodies here. Smokey's in the back. I guess we'll start with travel stitching. I didn't get anything this week. I did some kitting up of things. No, well, kind of, sort of. I guess I'll show this. What did I get? I did get some stuff. Just kidding. I forgot. So, Laura over at iStitchBirds has been at it again, and she found some patterns for me, and then, or she found a pattern for me that she gave me, and then I went to that shop and found two more that I just couldn't live without. So the one she got me was this one, which is a leaf, obviously, but this half is cross-stitched and this half is specialty stitches. And the colors are just super pretty. This is an example of it stitched up, which is amazing. You can't really replicate that with a computer mock-up. This is, I think, Smarty Owl on Etsy. She's from Latvia, I believe. Super cute. So then I went over, I'm like, well, specialty stitches, you got my ear there. So I went over and I found this one. It reminded me of, where's the end of this one? Okay. It reminded me of a spiral graph. And I might put in a picture. I didn't print it because on Etsy it showed it stitched up, which was really pretty. This is the cover picture, which is also fun, but it shows like all of these super fun with thread. And I actually have some mono canvas that was gifted to me that's thicker, and it's meant for like fine counted canvas, but I also have some full coverages with a half stitch, which are really nice because it doesn't warp. This would be really nice to do on that because I like to stitch in hand, but all of these are really long stitches, so that fabric would help not have to put it in a frame or something. So that would be really fun. So I'm excited about that. I don't know what colors I will do because the canvas is lighter. I don't know what colors, but they're lighter colors, so it wouldn't have the same effect. So I think I'll just pick some pretty colors that would work and would still be striking on the fabric that I have. So, and then the last one from the same shop, I couldn't leave it there. It was too cute. It's called Playing Kittens. Yeah, it has the designer name, but it is Smarty Owl on Etsy. And this is kittens playing in a teacup with like a, fish and stuff at a birthday party. But it's the cup and the fish, and down here it's all specialty stitches. How fun is that? So, had to make that for my daughter at some point probably. Anyways, and then I also, since we'll go into travel stitching with my temperature piece next year, I decided I'm going to go ahead and do the turtles next year. I'm going to wait on my second idea for a temperature piece until next year because I don't want to be torn between the two designs and which one should I do. I do want to do this one. This is going to be cute. And something else that came up this week, plus some other family projects. I can't work on another one this year, or designing another one this year. I need to just focus on life and other things. So I'm going to go ahead and commit to the turtles for this coming year. And I picked out this hand-dyed fabric by Witchelt, Caribbean Blue. It's an even weave. It's 28 count, so I'm going to do it 1/1. It looks like ocean. It's super fun. So yeah, that's what I'm going to use for my turtles. It's going to be really small and cute, like all of them. So look forward to that next year. Here's my Quaker this year. And I worked on this on Sunday like I like to do. I got it caught up. Here is where it is now. This is 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, 1/1 full cross. And there's a good representation. A lot of cool colors this week, which was nice. It was down into the 70s. One of these is the 60s. It's supposed to be back up into the 80s this week, but it won't get as orange. It'll probably just be greens, maybe yellows. So into November as well, because November starts on Wednesday. So that's pretty fun. I'm excited to see it fill in, because December will be all the little bits and bobs, the letters and there's a few motifs. That'll be kind of fun to go back and fill those in once we hit December. Make it feel a little bit more Quaker-esque. Let's see. I didn't do any Advent animals this week because I was working on Topsy Turvy. I guess I could show that. This is Topsy Turvy Tea by Counting Puddles. I started this for Carla's birthday on October 22nd. And I've been working on it as my travel stitching this week. I made decent progress. It's nowhere near finished, but I'll probably be switching over to something else for my travel stitching this week just because I have a deadline now. But this has been fun to work on. I'm hoping to either pull it out when all the Advent animals are done at the end of the year for travel stitching then, or just plug it into my list of things to finish for 2024. So either of those. So here's where I got to. This is 30 count Grape Ice linen by Weeks Dye Works. 2/2 full cross with the called for Treenway silks. And it's been really fun. The silks are fluffy and a little bit stretchy, and the fabric is loose. So being an in-hand stitcher, it's a little bit of a challenge. I'm going a little slower than I might normally just to make sure they're laying as nice as possible. Sometimes they don't lay very nice, so don't look too closely, but it's been fun. I got all the pink and green done in the cup area, and then I'm starting to fill in with the white. There's more cross stitches in the tea bag and the tag on the bag, but I will get to those once I backstitch to them, and then I'll probably park the backstitching and stitch, because I want to make sure to count right. Since this fabric's a little bit dark, I don't want to count wrong. So yeah, that's been fun. I made some good progress on that, but it will go away now until another opportune time to bring it back out. So that's been a lot of fun. I also was able to work on my frosted pumpkin a little bit. I think I worked on this twice actually. When I worked with, I called Colette, the highway stitcher, and my sister. So this is the frosted pumpkin stitchery, the year-long stitch-along. It wasn't quite a year this year. It started in like May and is going through February of next year. So it's kind of all crazy, but it's a castle theme, so I couldn't pass it up. I'm working over here in the tower. I did most of the bricks in the tower, except there's some over here that are not done yet, but I'll pick those up when I do the rest of the bridge. And there's still backstitching in the tower as well that I didn't do, but I worked on the torch and I'm starting in on the princess. So I think next time I'll work on the princess and then go up to that jousting scene. I may do some backstitching first, actually. Probably. So the princess and the backstitching, and then the jousting scene. So here is where I am now. This is 28 count light blue Lugana, 1/1 full cross with my own colors. So here's the section I was working on. So this side is all filled in. This is the outline of the dragon that will be in front of the tower. And I got to start on the princess. So it's pretty cute. Enjoying that. And I think that's all my miscellaneous stitching. I don't think I will show you, I guess I'll show you, WIPGO numbers have been drawn, but I don't think I'll get to this week because I want to work on something else first. So, which I'll show in a minute. So let's see. So yeah, the two smaller numbers were drawn here in November, which is perfect because those are the two that I wanted to work on first, in hopes that if I can't get to the December straws until December, I at least have a few days to enjoy the beginning of the advent calendar while I'm stitching the ones at the end of the month. So it worked out great. So Cashmere Camel was called, as well as Fitzwilliam Frog. So those are the two I'll be working on in November. Hopefully I'll get those two done. I doubt I will get to it, but I'll probably, here, I'll show you Cashmere Camel just in case. Here is my start on Cashmere Camel. Not a whole lot, just a little bit of the present on the top of her back, and then this might be ear, pink in her ears. Yeah, I think those are ear, the insides of her ears. There's a nice crease in that one. That's not very nice, but hopefully there's enough stitching in her that it won't matter too much. All right, while I'm talking about travel stitching, I'll go ahead and share why I'm changing my plans for this week and next. So I agreed back in the summer to make a gift item for a giveaway prize for a women's conference that my church is having on the 10th and 11th of November. It was in the back of my mind, I'm gonna do this. And then the back of my mind went to completely out of my mind. Got a text this week, hey, how's it going on those giveaway prizes, with me and another woman that it must have signed up to do something. Yeah, so I had totally forgotten. So that afternoon I went and sat down on my computer and designed this pattern that will have the verse, that's our key verse for the conference, in the colors of the conference, and I'll stitch it and frame it and have it ready for the conference. So I have like a week and a half to do it. So that's why it's taking over. I'm gonna do it in the travel stitching, and I also will probably work on it during the day some, which I normally don't stitch during the day because it's essentially work. It's a commitment. So I'll give it some extra time, but this is what it's gonna look like. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she smiles at the future. Proverbs 31:25. So I used the frame, the border from God's Garden, the pattern in my Etsy shop, and kind of pushed it together so it's a exact square, because it's a nice border to fill in a lot of space without a lot of stitching. So, and then this is just a nice blocky, two different fonts actually. But I went ahead and showed it because it's not really a secret. There's some people at my church who know I make videos, but I don't think they watch. And even if they do, it's not really a surprise because it's going to be a surprise drawing. So even if they see it, they can get excited about it and they won't know if they're going to get it or not. So I'm doing this on 28 count light blue even weave, which I think is maybe a leftover piece from some Hobby Lobby even weave. 28 count 1/1 full cross with some DMCs that I pulled that matched the postcard that had been made up for the conference colors. So it's not like the roses here, like in the corners, these are gonna be like pinky browns, which is a little odd, but it worked really well with the colors that were chosen for the conference. So I wanted it to kind of match. And that's as far as I've gotten so far. It's 1/1. I'm hoping letters and mostly backstitching border will be fairly quickly finished, but I do need to give this a high priority this week. So hopefully I'll have a decent amount done next week, if not almost done. And I will be sure to take a video of it framed and everything to include in the following video whenever it's done. So that's that one. And if you're, I think I might put that in my Etsy shop after the conference because it's pretty cute. So other people can stitch it too. So if you're interested in that, I'll probably post it in my Etsy shop mid-November. All right, I think everything else is regular stitching. starting out on Monday with Bear Time Stories. Monday and, did I show those? Yeah, I think I showed those. Oh yeah, these two, these patterns I got last week. This pumpkin one, I believe, is now available on mybobbin.com. Laura told me that one was ready for a regular purchase. You don't have to email her special. This is her designer name, so if you want to look her up too. I don't think Pumpkin House may or may not be the official name, because when you get the files, it's all in Russian. This one I don't think is ready yet, but hopefully it'll be ready before my birthday, which is when I hope to start it next year. If anybody wants to join me. So here is Mini Bear Time Stories, Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Randall Spangler, and I got my goal accomplished. I'm so excited. My goal was to finish the darkest, or not the darkest, the color with the most stitches that I had been working on, 8/14, and over the Monday and Wednesday main stitching time, I managed to finish it. So here this is. 1/1 half cross on 40 count vertical, and that color with the most stitches is complete. So when this comes back out in November, I'm going to start working on the colors with the least amount of stitches and start ticking those off. I'm not going to focus as hard this year on reaching 1,000 stitches because I do only have them slotted for one day. But next year, that will be my goal, to do 1,000 stitches over the course of 2 days. I think I should be able to do that. So that's super fun. Oh yeah, my next one, I'll leave this out for a minute because I had something that was very interesting. I'll show you in a minute. So my next, I guess the next one was S-Berry. So this one I worked on last Tuesday. I'll work on it again today. This is my next niece piece with my color conversion. That'll be a purple fairy and a blackish gray S. I didn't do a whole lot last Tuesday. I knew it would be very busy. Oh, I guess I videoed on Tuesday, so you would have seen part of my progress on Bear Time Stories already, but I did get that done. So here is what I got done on S-Berry. Not a whole lot. This is the called for 32 count water lily linen, 2/2 full cross. And I just finished the string that I had that was here in the center. And I'm hoping today to work on the girl, to start working on the fairy, because I want to work my way to the top, and that's probably the quickest way, but I also want to see how my colors play with each other and to make sure I like how everything is looking. Because so far I have 3 different colors put in, and I'm pretty happy with how that will look. I think at a distance it'll give the effect of a black S. Most of it will be this outer color, which is black coffee. The inner outline is DMC 310, and this is Old Moss, I think, by Color and Cotton. And so I want to see how my purples look and get that started. And then I could also use the fairy to kind of hop up to the top of the S and work from the top down. So we'll see how much I can get done on that today. And then my main piece for 3 days, which I got a pretty piddly amount of work done on this because it was very busy this week. Starting, well, Thursday I took extra time to design that piece for my church conference. Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we had a lot of activities. So it was just very busy and full, which means not a lot of stitching time. So that's too bad, but I did get my goal done, my minimum goal done on this as well. This is Grapes by Golden Kite, the small version. I had hoped to finally stitch in all the parked threads, and I did. I'm so excited. And I got one more color, one more symbol chosen beyond that, so it's a little bit of icing on the cake. So here is where this is at now. This is 18 count Fiddler's Ada 2/1 full cross. and I got all the parked threads stitched in. So you can definitely see like leaf and black grapes, yellow grapes, fruits of other kinds. I can't remember what, there's some pears or whatever here. And you can kind of just see like the smattering of colors that will eventually be things. So it'll be really nice now. And I went up and picked a green as well. That was the first symbol not yet chosen that was left to right, top to bottom in 10 by 10 grids. So that kind of filled in here. And I ended up completing the color, I believe, down here. Because I was like, well, should I count all the way down there? But I already had some of this here, and I figured I'm going to go ahead and just complete the color. I think that would be really fun. So I put some green down here as well, which completed a color. So that was fun. So this is not quite to the bottom yet. I think the bottom is maybe like right here. But something I noticed when I was in here working on this one in Pattern Keeper, this one is a smaller stitch count than this one. So I thought that was interesting. This one is like 50 something thousand stitches, and this is 60 something thousand stitches. So even though this one is smaller than this one, it's because it's 40 count and this is 18 count. So, but this one is actually fewer stitches. So I thought that was very interesting. This one is also at like, oh, I don't even know, like 16 to 18%, somewhere in there. And this one is at 45% roughly. So I thought that was kind of a fun calculation. I didn't get the exact numbers, but roughly. That was an interesting observation. I was like, wow, grapes is actually larger than Bear Time Stories. I mean, smaller than Bear Time Stories, even though it's physically larger because it's done on a bigger count fabric. So just goes to show how much stitching is in Bear Time Stories. It's just very small, so it's deceptively small. It's not actually that small. It is still small relatively. It's the mini, so it's not crazy big as far as Heaven and Earth Designs goes, but it is more than you'd think. I think, oh yeah, an Autumn Montage was the last one I worked on. And this one again was just too busy, and having been busy, then I kind of get burnt out on life and just kind of veg and did less stitching than I probably could have on Sunday, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So Pain-Free Crafts, artwork by Janet Stever. I'm up here in the top, and my mini goal on this was to finish the top column of 10 by 10 squares by picking symbols and completing those this first 10 by 10 column, and I did it in this first acorn block. So that was a mini goal that I did get, plus, similar to grapes, plus one more color. That I went back up to the beginning of the next column and picked the next symbol and did one more color. So not a lot. I think this only had, grapes had 638 stitches over 3 days. So not as much as I was expecting to get, but at least each day I got over 100, which is kind of a minimum to feel like I've touched it that day. So that's good. And same with Autumn Montage. I got 138 on Sunday, which is not great, but better than nothing. And it feels like I did touch it that day. I'll do the before and after for this week, which probably won't be a whole lot that you can see. But over the course of the month, I'll show that too. 1,702 total in October. So this will go away now until next fall, which is sad, but I have other things I'm going to work on. So in November and December, I believe I'll be working on Celtic Ladies, my seasonal collage. I'll be working on the fall, the autumn lady, on Sundays. Oh, I should have brought that, I guess. I'll post pictures because I haven't worked on it since my whip parade, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I was doing colors of the seasons in September. So yeah, I haven't worked on it since my whip parade. So I'll go ahead and post a picture of the cover art where I kind of took elements of the 4 Lavender and Lace Celtic Ladies and put them all together into one piece, just the top little bits of the ladies. And then where I was as of the whip parade, so my before picture basically. And I should be able to get to that on Sunday before I come back to talk to you again. So I'll be working on the autumn section. So that'll be nice. My other plans for this week, tomorrow is Halloween. So today I'll work on my S fairy to give it another day this week. But Halloween is Tuesday. So I'll hopefully work on this a little bit on Tuesday. This is Trick or Treat Fairy by Nora Corbett. This is the version you can get in the Hirschner's catalog or Hirschner's magazine or online. I got mine online. It says Halloween Fairy in there, but it says Trick or Treat right here. There's another fairy that is also called Halloween Fairy, so I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I hopefully will get some time. I'll probably be taking my younger kids trick-or-treating, so hopefully I can still get some time on this. This is 32 count mushroom slushy by Fabric Flair. 2/2 full cross for everything. And it would be nice to do some beading in her headdress. But worst case, I'll just do more actual stitching, finishing the owl and like her bodice area. If all I can do is actual cross stitches. So we'll see what the day holds, how much time I have. Hopefully a little bit more can get done on her. And then we're into November. So I won't go through all of my November plans at this point, but just what I'm gonna work on first. My overall plans this year have been to have a focus for a finished piece, which I'll give up to 2 weeks. If I finish it before the 2 weeks are over, I'll work on a Fancy Lady bonus piece. And then I have a full coverage no background and a full coverage that will also get a week of stitching as well, which the week is more like 4 days. So so my first thing I'll be working on is my focus piece. And this one, let's get the cover page out, is going to be Christmas Sweater Cat. This is the Joy version. She has a variety of these, the Christmas Sweater series by Stitch with Coffee Designs. I got mine on Etsy and I follow her on Instagram because her stuff is so cute. But I'm going to make this for my mom for Christmas, so hopefully I'll be able to turn it into a little ornament. I'm not stitching this bottom plaid bit, but I'm doing all the rest of it. I'm doing mine on, this looks like the 25 count vintage cloth in Prim, like my Temperature Quakers is on. This is how far I got last year. 1/1 full cross with the called for DMC. She calls for a toile for some of it, which I am using where called for. She also has some beads. So like this Joy is supposed to be beads. I am stitching that in Whisper because it's a sweater. And I figured even petite beads weren't going to show up, but you can see some sparkle there in the red. The blue is also a toile, but it's kind of harder to see the sparkle. So the sweater is in a toile. The kitty is obviously in just DMC. She's not sparkly. So some of it will be sparkly, some of it will be DMC. And yeah, so here's my colors. I put the DMC on a card and the toile is just in bobbins in there. So yeah, hopefully I can get this finished without too much trouble because my bonus Fancy Lady is Winter Rose, which will be really fun to work on. That's the one with the lavender lace with the ice skater. I would love to finish that or get it close to finish for next year. So if I have extra time this year to work on it, that'd be really fun. My full coverage no background for this year is, for this month I mean, is my Simpsons piece, which will be really nice to push that forward to a finish. And I'll probably have something else that I will, you know, maybe I could do my Shine Bright sampler as my alternative project the week I'm doing the Simpsons piece, because I have to have something that I can just like grab and pick up if my husband comes in the room, because that's the secret still. The Simpsons is the secret. So I did not work on Shine Bright this week, although I really, really wanted to. I just didn't have any time. And I didn't work on my Secret Stitch either, which I would love to finish before Christmas. That'd be really nice to just get that done and gifted before Christmas. So hopefully this week will be a little bit calmer. We'll see. And oh yeah, my full coverage for November, which I won't get to for a little while, is Hidden Harbor by Andy Russell. So that one will be fun to get back to. With that, I think that's everything. So Smokey says hi while she's sleeping, and I say happy stitching. Bye.